If you are building a coaching or service-based business from scratch and you're trying to get momentum and build your audience, I have proof that starting with social media is the worst way to do it. If you haven't met me before, I'm Adrienne Hill. I'm a business strategist, and I'm doing a 90-day comparison between two different business building strategies from scratch, and I'm testing which one will give you faster momentum if you're starting from the ground up. Now, of course, if you're more experienced and you're not starting from the ground up, you could just get even bigger, even better results, probably with both of these strategies, but the comparison between the two is still going to be similar. So I've been testing social media head-to-head versus something I call audience explosion, which in a nutshell is basically just tapping into other people's audiences versus social media is obviously building your own audience, right? So if you're starting from scratch, social media so far, we're 18 days in to this test. I've gotten 2 leads, no booked calls, no sales, no nothing. Granted, starting from scratch, but that's the whole point of the experience, right? On the other side, audience explosion. I've brought in over 1,000 leads, meaning new email subscribers. We have 106 calls that are flowing through our system right now of various people seeking various services and various things from us. And we've brought in just over $10,000 in 18 days. So as you can see, if you're starting from scratch, it is absolutely insane to think that social media is going to give you a fast start. Now, before you come at me, I'm not saying it's never a good idea. I'm just saying it's a slower build than some other options that you have, especially audience explosion, where, like I said, you're tapping into other people's audiences rather than relying on building your own all by yourself. Now, there are also some drawbacks to audience explosion, and I'm going to be super transparent about those, okay? So for those of you looking at this and going, oh my gosh, that's amazing, it is. However, you can only realistically execute at least this style of audience explosion that I'm using once per quarter, okay? So 4 times a year, you can do this, but you still have to fill the gap in between, which is why I'm also testing social media. So what you're probably gonna see happen, audience explosion is gonna be winning in the beginning, like by a landslide. But once the event is over, nothing else gets added to this tally, but social media is gonna continue to grow. So for 90 days, I'm going to see how much I can grow my social media. Now, granted, I'm growing most of my accounts from scratch, okay? Because I spent so much time focusing on this strategy the first few years of my business, I just really didn't pay attention to social media. So this one will stop. These numbers at some point will just stop and sit there. And these ones will grow and grow and grow. And I'm really fascinated to see how that's going to play out and how that's going to look. But if you are a coach or a service provider and you're starting from scratch and you need to get in money as fast as possible, this is where it's at. I recommend launching a round of audience explosion and audience building strategy. And then after you have all this initial money flow in, then start building your social media on top of that, right? It's plus, and here's the thing. Once you have a whole bunch of leads and a whole bunch of calls and a whole bunch of money flowing in, your confidence is going to be through the roof, which is why when you do show up on social media, you're going to show up better. Your energy is going to be better. Your confidence is going to be better. You're going to, right? Like the whole dynamic changes. So that's why I'm running this experiment. So if you find this fascinating and you want to follow along, make sure that you like this video and follow my profile, and I will continue to give you updates throughout the 90 days.